Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Anza Saqib. I'm back with another episode of Rendezvous with Anza at CxO Global TV. CxO Global Forum is a knowledge sharing platform for all seat levels within Pakistan and globally as well. Today, we have another very, very interesting guest. And the way he introduced himself was something very interesting as well. He has a lot of experience in the industry, and we're very excited to hear his thoughts. Please welcome Mr. Asmar Atif. He is the Chief Intrapreneur at the Octopus Media Group. We'll let him introduce himself further. Asmar, how are you today?
Thank you very much, Anza. And it's actually Octopus Digital. So it's Octopus Digital at Avanceon. But thank you very much for having me here today. And I'm very happy and excited to be able to be part of the CxO Global Forum, to be able to be part of this thriving community. And I think the kind of work that you guys are doing, it's great, especially in our country, bringing the community together, bringing the business and thought leaders together. So it's great to be part of it. So thank you very much. I'm very excited for this talk today.
Lovely. So Asmar, without further ado, I know, even looking at you, mashallah, and the way I was reading your LinkedIn profile, you have achieved quite a bit at a relatively young age, and I'm sure a lot of people are inspired by your journey. But when and where did this journey begin? Where did you go to school? What kind of courses did you study? Basically, just how does one become the next Asmar Atif?
This is interesting. I'll try and keep it brief because, and thank you very much for your kind words. I'm basically an engineer. And whenever I talk to people, because the company that I work for, Avanceon and Octopus Digital, it's a very hardcore engineering company. And in our company, my career started off with Avanceon as a software engineer. I basically graduated from Institute of Management Sciences in Lahore. And at that point in time, it was a wave. Everyone was becoming a software engineer. So very soon I realized, I think it's worth mentioning, that I realized that I hate working with machines and I love working with people. So after becoming software engineer, even though I got a gold medal or whatever, but then I realized, oh no, I actually want to go in business development and actually selling. So I joined Avanceon back in early 2005 as a software engineer. Mm-hmm. Software quality engineer. And then since then, it's been a humpy and bumpy ride. It's been amazing. Something that's worth mentioning here, that I joined that company, Avanceon, just for 3 months, just for internship. And I had plans to go to the UK and continue our family tradition to do MBA from UK, which started off with my grandfather. And then after that, but then this company was it just proved the company grew and the opportunities that I got. So I think in a nutshell, it was such an amazing, challenging ride that I was totally lucky enough to be part of the team. And it's been now almost 16 years that I have been with Avanceon group of companies. And Octopus Digital is a new subsidiary company that we have opened, and I'm leading that company. So back in 2017, I went to do my MBA. Even after 12, 13 years, I thought now is the time that I should... Exactly, to fulfill the family tradition, and better late than never. And so I graduated as an MBA from Imperial College London, and I was also part of the Machine Learning Society, and it was quite an amazing experience to be able to have done that. So I specialized in actually innovation, entrepreneurship, and design thinking, with a special focus on breakout strategy and digitalization. So that's why when I got an opportunity to lead Octopus, it was just the best of both worlds coming together for me. So yeah.
Makes sense. Oh, that's lovely. Before I ask you more about the machine learning AI side of things, you mentioned how you wanted to get into business development and sales, right? So for someone as dynamic as you, I would really like to ask you, because a lot of young people, myself included, we're all about, how does one build the right kind of narrative, especially in the polarized, business community that we have in Pakistan, especially in terms of dealing with like B2B consumers or B2C consumer markets. So how does one create the right kind of narrative for their products, especially in the IT digital world?
I think my answer might not be quite cliched, and it might not be. I'll just give a very simple answer, and that comes straight from the heart, which is just be yourself. And all salespeople and even business people, starting from level 1 to maybe CEO or presidents or whatever, success always comes in when you speak from the heart and you speak the truth. No matter which product or service are you selling, whether you are a waiter or a server in a bar or a restaurant, or whether you're a president of a technology company, which is maybe $1 trillion Amazon or whatever. If you are talking to your clients from your heart and the value that you're going to deliver, you're honest about it, it works. That has been my...
Can you sell ice to an Eskimo?
I personally think that is a good example. Some people give it a different perspective. I think whether you're selling an ice to an Eskimo or whosoever, whatever you are selling, whatever you're delivering, or whatever you intend to do, the company that you work for, if you just stay real and honest to your own self, and if you do things that you believe in, if you believe in that product that you're selling, and if you believe that that product or service adds value to the customers and it's going to be beneficial, it will come straight from the heart. And I was reading the other day somewhere, and you also asked, it's no more B2B or B2C. It's actually H to H now, which is human to human. Okay. And that's it.
Brilliant. That's such a beautiful way of putting things. How has AI evolved, and what impact has it created on our lives? And if you could just maybe, give a couple of lines about, because a lot of people from other industries are watching us who aren't essentially aware of what AI or machine learning entails.
It's a very interesting question. It's a very open-ended question. So I'll just try and be brief and give my 20 cents on artificial intelligence is a very broad field. Some people say it's a science. Some people say it's arts. I think it's a mix of both, because artificial intelligence started off with the advent of social media and with the advent of big data in 2008. But the industry that we in Octopus Digital and Avanceon have been the manufacturing and process industry. For us, AI started quite a few years back, 6 to 7 years back, when everybody was talking about machine learning, prediction, and prescription and all that stuff. For our industry and in our context, AI has evolved over a period of automation. Our business has been for the last 30 years automating the processes of manufacturing and process industry by installing different systems, different hardware systems and different software systems. And now, when all those hardware and software systems are already there and they are sending in data, now we need to do something with that data. We need to gather the intelligence out of that data, put that intelligence into a certain machine learning model, and that model should then be able to predict and prescribe what the industry needs to do on their process and assets. So this is the business that we have built in Octopus in a very easy business model that our customers should be able to take benefit out of the data that they already have on their assets. The only thing is taking intelligence out of data and then making prediction and prescription so that they can improve their top and bottom line. So that's how AI has evolved.
Okay, lovely.
In our industry.
I understand.
It has just started actually, and there's a long way to go.
Brilliant. In your LinkedIn profile and even otherwise, you mentioned that you are an AI ethicist, right? And when we talk about ethics and computers and the digital trust that's there, what does that entail? And how do you think if ethics and values are going to have an impact on our digital trust, and the fact that in this day and age, it's going to impact our lives significantly?
Anza, this is a question which is very close to my heart. And just to make it clear that as of today, I'm not an AI ethicist. I've written in my LinkedIn profile that I would like to retire as an AI ethicist. So maybe 30 years able to be functioning and be contributing to society in terms of AI ethics. Now, since this field has just started blooming in, and the business people are building businesses around them, business models are being revitalized, big companies and small companies are entering into AI and machine learning. So there are a lot of gray areas in terms of policy making, in terms of regulation, in terms of data privacy, protection, security. And at the end of the day, how do we extract the data, a value out of the data, and then how to monetize selling that value? So there are lots of issues around ethics when it comes to artificial intelligence and taking the data out of artificial intelligence. Needless to say that as we hear that robots will come in and they will take over and we will be out of our jobs.
Yeah, men will be replaced by machines. Yeah, that's the narrative.
By machines. Exactly. And when that happens, and we are moving towards that in bits and pieces, the developed world is a little ahead of us, but we are also moving very fast towards that. So by the time we get to that point, and that point is not very far, I think we are getting towards that point. That point is not very far, actually, because technology adoption has been quite faster now. Things that we use, our parents and our grandparents used to adopt in decades, now the youngsters adopt and the industry adopts the latest technology within years. It doesn't take decades to adopt a new technology. So either they accept it or they reject it, but once they adopt it, it's very quick. So by the time we get to that point, I think there are lots of ethical issues related to what like we talk about human rights, we'll be talking about machine rights, robot rights. What will be the interaction mechanism, the regulation and all that. So that piece of ethics, and coming to our business in Octopus and manufacturing industry, when we will be processing a lot of client data and extracting the value and intelligence out of that data, making predictions about them, how honest we will be about our algorithms making predictions for our clients. One, that it will be benefiting the client based on how they should run their machines. But on the other hand, it is incumbent on us as businesses that we make predictions without any biases of benefiting our business later on. So there are lots of ethical issues wrapped and hidden in the blind spots that we need to address moving forward. And we in Octopus are already preempting, and every algorithm, every model, every service that we're building in Octopus Digital, there are two aspects that are inherent in that. One is ethics and the other one is security, which is very, very important.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree with you more. When you spoke about how, people now need to progress and move ahead, you have to be a part of the system. So you can't nowadays, I wouldn't even say that things are happening. They're happening. Everything happens through an app. However, one reality that we all had to face was last year, the pandemic, and it has really affected a lot of businesses. Has it affected your business in any manner? Has there been a learning curve, or did you have any firefighting to do?
I think there are a couple of things that I'd like to mention here. Traditionally, and I mean, because I work for Avanceon and Octopus is my company, so I would certainly say all the good things about it. But traditionally, because we are a public limited company as an Avanceon, and Octopus is also going to be public, so the information is out there, which is that our company traditionally, our business traditionally has performed better in crises and turmoils. And the story was no different last year. This is quite interesting, and we do quite a bit of internal study and research that even when the Karachi Stock Exchange is going down, our stock is the highest. Even when the businesses are on the down, our business is most of the.
Sorry, Asmar, you were breaking up. I think I'm going to request you to repeat that one more time.
Even though our business is cyclical.
Asmar, this is a recording, so we sorry, Asmar, this is a recording, so I would request you to please repeat the answer to the question again. I heard you fine up until, if you could take it from, even when the stock market is going down.
Okay. So now I think it's fine. Now you can hear me fine, right? Perfect. Okay. So usually the trend has been when the stock market is down, our business is always up, our share price is up. When the other businesses is down, we usually have performed better in turmoils. And the story was no different last year. But something that we deliberately did, we did two things. One, that the safety of our employees, our customers, our partners, and our subcontractors were the top priority. So we just did everything online. All our people throughout the globe in 6-7 different geographies where we are present, they all worked online on a single day notice, because we are a digitalization shop internally. So all our systems are online. So everybody started. And to tell you the truth, when the numbers will be out very shortly, we had a record bumper business year last year. The learning curve, being a technology company, we were not expecting, because like every other business, we also got into COVID, for the first time. So we had no idea how it would pan out to be. So everything was online. All our people, and our learning curve has been that, the market. Initially, when we launched Octopus Digital 2 years ago, we had a whole business plan and a whole market research that the Pakistan market is ready for this. But we had no idea that the market was ready for digitalization solutions much, much more than we initially thought. So that has been the learning curve, that we were thinking that we still probably at a starting phase or something, but eventually we realized that now the market is probably advancing and needing much more than we had initially planned. So we are actually catching up with whatever plans that we have for Octopus Digital IPO and the equity that we are going to raise. We have now a whole plan set up for our product development suite that the industry is looking for. So our development, our services suite that we're going to provide our customers to is going to be based on whatever the industry is looking for. So that has been our learning curve, actually.
Great. At your organization, you are perhaps known as a storyteller and a problem solver, right? Can you elaborate a little based on that?
Oh, yeah, it's there, as we are in the AI and machine learning age and digital age. So there are lots of new designations, job titles, roles, functions, as you might want to call them. One of the most important skills is emotional intelligence these days. And emotional intelligence, one of the key pillars of emotional intelligence is, of course, communicating through data in our business context. So whenever we go to a client, most of the times what happens is that we are the sellers, we want to sell something, and the customer wants to buy something. So we just go in and start talking about our product, how good we are, how best our product is, and somehow try and marry customer needs with our products. And that's a classic business model. And even if the customer said, no, I don't need it, we say, no, you actually need it. Please get it. It's very good. So so now something which was missing in this whole piece is that emotional intelligence and sensitivity that you need to be able to understand and see through and be in customer shoes, and then tell a story which is actually based on facts to the customer based on the data that you're going to extract the value and intelligence from. So it's actually my role as a helper to a customer starts from being a storyteller. When I go to a client and I study client's data, I come up with a story, because human mind either thinks in terms of pictures or they think in terms of stories. That's why we never forget pictures and we never forget stories. So and then how do we do that with data? So that's how you solve a problem, by storytelling through data. So this is how storytelling and problem solving in our business context in Octopus is. So I take pride in the fact that I don't try to impose a solution on our customers, but try and build that story and narrative with the customer to be able to solve their problems.
Great. So that's pretty interesting. And I hope and pray that every organization has a storyteller and a problem solver like yourself. Coming back to a little more about Pakistan and the digital infrastructure and everything. The PM has recently announced special technology zones in Pakistan, probably aware of them. Do you think they're going to contribute, if at all, to creating a more conducive environment for setting up new businesses?
Again, this is a very important question. And I see this question as part of a bigger mosaic, like a bigger issue, which is the step in itself is perfect in the right direction. Something that needs to be done also is that digital transformation. There are multiple programs that this government has started, including Digital Pakistan, and setting up special economic zones and promoting trade, industry, and commerce. All these things actually feed into a bigger picture of overall economic development and revival of our country. Something that I see it as very clear, that it's important that only government cannot be held responsible for playing its part. I think the public sector, the private sector, and a lot of innovation startup ecosystems, all of these need to come together and develop a partnership of different forms and different sorts, so that all take responsibility of how we can reap the fruits of digital transformation and AI and machine learning for different elements of our economic revival. So special economic zones is a great step. It will definitely encourage industries, give them different benefits, and then they'll be able to help in job creation. But something more than that, that we should come out of this habit of blaming the government all the time. I think each one of us in our society, whether business leaders, community leaders, thought leaders, to even students and people who are aspiring, working in different jobs, I think each one of us has a responsibility to actually feed into the overall objective of economic revival of our country.
What a beautiful thought indeed. And I think you pointed out one of the most important areas that I think we need improvement in: industry and academia linkages. So it's not just thought leaders, but also the students that are going to be the future, then definitely that's an area that we need to work on. We didn't really keep track of time, because whatever you were saying was so interesting. And I was literally taking down notes of the things that you were saying. Asmar, thank you for joining us. And one of the last questions that I'm going to ask you is something that is traditional, and I ask everybody that I interview. How has being a part of CxO Global Forum impacted your life?
I think it was a year and a half ago when I saw something on LinkedIn. It was just a LinkedIn feed, and I saw Kamal and some of the work that he was doing, and then I ignored it, to be honest, in the first, and I said, oh, this is something which is really good happening, and then I ignored it, and it kept on popping up. And one day I just gave a call to Kamal. And I said, Kamal, I see you doing a lot of good stuff on LinkedIn. You're connecting different people and connecting minds. Just tell me, what are you doing? And it was just a random call. And he was kind enough, and he explained what he was doing. And it was very, very touching, because I worked globally, internationally, East and West. And the power of network is very, very important, and it's very strong insert in pretty much in every industry. You know, Freemasons, we know other. So in every developed economy, even underdeveloped, even developing, in every industry, the power of network of people can beat anything. And something which Kamal mentioned, and his vision was for CxO Global Forum, was that bringing together those minds in Pakistan who can make a difference. I think that was very heart touching. And I told him, because I had recently then moved from Dubai to launch Octopus Digital in Pakistan. So I said, I've seen here and there, I mean, there are different groups, there are different business councils. And so we really lack a forum in Pakistan which actually brings the minds together, and then they deliver value also. When I heard Kamal's vision, I said, I want to be part of it. And I said, anything that I can contribute intellectually, physically, in any other form, I'll be happy to do that. So it has impacted me personally. I've learned a lot. I've connected with a lot of people, like-minded people, and even people who are not like-minded. So I've learned from them, and it has really uplifted me intellectually and emotionally. So I'm very happy to be part of it.
Thank you very much, Asmar, for your time and for all the effort. We hope to speak to you again in the future. Lovely speaking to you.
Thank you very much
for your time.
Thank you very much, Anza. And I really would like to thank your entire team for organizing this. And it's been, and I wish you keep safe, and wish you all the very best in your endeavors and in your business. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
We're going to join you with another interesting guest next time. Bye-bye from me.
Thank you. Bye-bye.